Hello, today we're going to do section 2.4, how do you write equations of lines? Okay, so we're looking at how do you write equations of lines if we're given some information. We need some basic information in order to write the equation of a line. We need one of these three things, either the slope and the y-intercept, or we need the slope and some other point, or we need 2 points on the line. So we'll do an example of each here, and we'll go from there. So let's start with the simplest one. What if I'm given slope and y-intercept? So let's say the slope is 3/4 and the y-intercept is 0, -2. Well, if y equals mx plus b is my standard form, the slope is the m, the y-intercept is the b, so the equation is y equals 3/4 x minus 2. And that's it. Okay, so slope, if you're given slope and y-intercept, pretty straightforward. Okay, second case, what if I have a point and slope? Okay, so let's say the slope is -3 and it goes through -2, 3. Okay, so the first step there is we're going to plug in the slope into y equals mx plus b. So we got y equals -3x plus b. So all we need to know is what b is. We don't know because we weren't given the y-intercept. However, we're given this point that satisfies the equation of the line. So if this is a coordinate, an xy coordinate, we can substitute this value in for the x and the y and solve for the b. Okay, so -2 is the x, 3 is the y. Okay, so now we just solve this simple equation. That's going to be 6 plus b, subtract 6. Looks like b is -3. So now I can substitute that back in here. And I can write my equation, y equals -3x minus 3. So that's what you do if you get a point and a slope. Finally, the last case, what if you're given 2 points? So let's say line passes through -2, 5 and 4, -7. Okay, so we don't have a slope, we don't have a y-intercept. But if I'm given 2 points, I can calculate the slope. So the first step is to find slope. And that comes from, I believe, section 2.2 where we found the slope. So remember that formula, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Oops. x2, that's an x. Okay, so -7 minus 5 over 4 minus -2. So that's -12 over +6. Double negative becomes a positive. So that's -2. So we've got the slope. So if you get 2 points, find the slope first. So now we know the equation is y equals -2x plus b. So now we're back to the same as 2, where we have the slope now. We have 2 points actually. So we can choose one of these 2 points, substitute in for x and y, and solve for the b. So I'll use the first point. So 5 is y, -2 is x. Let's solve that. 5 equals 4 plus b, subtract 4, b equals 1. Oops. Okay, so y equals -2x plus 1 is my equation. Okay. Now, what if they throw a little curveball at you, like on guided practice number 5 on page 99. That one says, write an equation of a line that passes through 4, -2. So 4, -2, and A is parallel to y equals 3x minus 1. And part B is what if it's perpendicular to y equals 3x minus 1. So it's two problems. Okay? So if it goes, so basically we have the second case where we have a point and we know the slope. Okay? So if it goes through this point and it's parallel to 3x minus 1, and the slope of 3x minus 1 is 3, then my new line also has a slope of 3 because they're parallel, so they have the same slope. So the only difference is it has a different y-intercept. So we substitute 4 and -2 in for the x and the y. And solve for b here. So -2 equals, looks like b equals, subtract 12, -14. So 3x minus 14 in that case. Perpendicular, so if the slope is 3, a line that's perpendicular would have a slope that's the opposite reciprocal. So if this slope is 3 over 1, the opposite reciprocal would be -1 over 3. Okay, so that's the slope of my new line. Okay. So now we have to substitute in that other point. It passes through this point here still. So now I substitute -2 in for y and 4 in for x. Okay, so -2 equals 4 times 1/3 is -4/3 plus b. Okay, we got to deal with some fractions. That's okay. We're not afraid of fractions. So we're going to add 4/3 to both sides. Okay, so how do I take -2 plus 4/3? Let's do it over here. -2, if I make it over thirds, is -6/3. Okay, that's still -2, right? Plus a positive 4/3. Now I can add fractions because I got a common denominator. I get -2/3. Just add the numerators. Okay, so b equals -2/3. So then my equation is -1/3 x minus 2/3. Okay, that is it for section 2.4.